Second video in 2 weeks. Crazy, right?
Just need one ray through the dark skies.
So if you've been subscribed to the channel for a hot minute, you know I love my OnePlus 6T. The OnePlus 6T blew me away last year, and it truly earned its spot as my favorite phone of 2018, and so far it's my favorite phone of 2019. But sometimes life throws roadblocks in the way. And by roadblocks I mean a giant branch in front of you when you're biking and eat shit.
No one wants to watch this.
So my OnePlus 6T has been decommissioned. While it still works perfectly, or at least it did before I threw it on the ground, I decided that the cracked glass on the back and front and chipped bezels and just general wear and tear was enough that I needed an upgrade. Luckily, I decided to take a fall right as the successor to my OnePlus 6T, the OnePlus 7T, was put on sale. Currently at $499 at time of this review. Now, I remember a day when OnePlus's Never Settle branding meant that you could get a premium phone at a price that anyone could afford. I also admit that didn't last for long, maybe 2 years, as OnePlus now holds a premium the same as Samsung or Apple. And from everything I've seen from the other reviewers, the new OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro are great phones and still hold a little bit of a discount compared to the competition, even if they aren't the flagship killer $400 phones from years prior. That being said, with every new phone OnePlus drops, they seem to tank the price on the previous generation. This has been consistent for 3 or 4 years now. And I think that makes the OnePlus 7T the better buy. Digging into this bad boy, we see a pretty decent spec sheet even for 2020. 6.5-inch 1080p AMOLED panel with a 20:9 aspect ratio. Snapdragon 855 Plus processor, that's an octa-core with an Adreno 640 GPU, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 or 256 gigabytes of UFS storage, triple rear cameras with a 48 megapixel main shooter, a decent 16 megapixel selfie camera, 3800 milliamp hour battery with that 30 watt hour warp charge, stereo speakers, NFC, a super fast in-display fingerprint scanner, which is actually eons better than the OnePlus 6Ts, USB 3.1, a frosted glass back, and the alert slider, which now feels so solid, so clicky, and so substantial, it's almost dangerous. What the fuck? Did you guys hear something? Ow. I'm gonna put this down. And best yet, all of this tasty hardware is wrapped up in Oxygen OS by OnePlus, which I still think is the best version of Android out there. And that's including the base version on the Pixel. Now, I don't know if that says more about the Pixel or OnePlus, but we'll chalk one up for a positive. As far as pictures go, compared to other phones or gaming performance, there's been a lot of reviews from a lot of channels more equipped than mine that have already talked about that. So I'm gonna put some links down in the description so you can check out those. But for how this phone works in 2020, well, for me, it's perfect. Just like my poor OnePlus 6T before it, it just works. The camera's adequate. Here's a couple of test shots. Call quality is solid, the 90 Hz panel is snappy, and the power of the 855 is evident in every daily task. I've never once had this thing chug on me. Like, literally never. I've had multiple apps open in the background, switching between everything, and it's always been as snappy as the day I got it out of the box. The battery life for me has been stellar. 90% of the time I last an entire day on a full charge, and on the rare occasion that I start to get a little low, 10 to 15 minutes in that 30 watt warp charger, and this thing is ready for the rest of the day. It's kind of scary how fast OnePlus can get their own phones to charge these days. Physically, it looks really good. And even with the bumper case I use, no more bike accidents here, it's still thin, it's still slick, and it looks just weird enough that you're not going to draw much attention to yourself, but you'll still stand out from the crowd of iPhones and Galaxies. I may be in the minority when it comes to tech enthusiasts, but I can't really fathom the need to drop 4 figures on a new phone these days. If you can afford it and you like having the best and brightest, I by no means am here to judge, but I feel a lot of people aren't even using half the power in their phones. And we're dropping way more than we need to. And it doesn't seem that I'm fully alone, if this article from Android Authority a couple weeks ago is to be believed. Link in the description. The OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro are probably fantastic. I'd love to get my hands on one. But for a lot of OnePlus fans, it's the sub $500 and really the sub $400 phones is where we fell in love with the company. And it's here that I think OnePlus really thrives. So do I recommend the OnePlus 7T in 2020? 1000% yes. As for the price, I don't think there's really anything that matches up with it. If you're a serious Instagram fiend, then maybe the Pixel 4, probably more likely the iPhone SE is gonna be the better phone for you. But with the Pixel 4 specifically, you're definitely gonna have to charge that thing up once or twice per day. And I know they've ironed out some of the bugs, but I would still bet on having to do a refresh for a freeze once in the blue moon. But in any other case, give the OnePlus a try. As I'm sure once you get it in your hands, it's gonna be really hard to put down. And that's the video. I know it was a quick one. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you disliked the video, be sure to slap the dislike button and tell me what animal I look like down in the comments. That might be a bad thing to ask, but I'm gonna roll with it anyway. If you like the channel, please subscribe as I got more content coming out, and we're definitely gonna start posting way more frequently now that we're in total lockdown. If you have anything you want me to review, shoot it in the comments and give me any of your feedback because I do read anything and everything. Probably shouldn't have told you guys that, but it's out there now. For this video, I'm TK with TK Tech, and I'll see you guys in the next one.